1. Like and subscribe. Like and
Subscribe, like
subscribe.
and
Like and
subscribe,
subscribe.
like
Like
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Okay.
Subscribe to
I love
Evil
it.
Puff. Like this
Please
video.
subscribe to Evil Puff. It's so cool.
Please,
Oh,
I'm
also,
begging you. If
also
Evil
Puff,
become successful, then like it'll be funny. And also, like this Batman video on this channel is doing way better than the one on my main channel
which
for
is so
stupid.
sad.
It's funny. I think.
Thing we ask every time: if you have a bad opinion or like a bad opinion you want us to talk about on pretty much any battle shonen, uh, put it in the comments.
Yeah,
Any battle shonen except for
dude,
Jujutsu
the Seven
Kaisen.
Deadly
Except
Sins
for
video is
Jujutsu
coming.
Kaisen, because only I'm caught up on
Yeah,
that.
dude,
Only I'm that
the
cool.
Seven Deadly Sins video is coming. So like if you're that guy who wants to who likes it and doesn't want to see us tear it apart, here's your chance to try and change your minds. I guess.
Yeah, or if you have something about it that pisses you off, put that too, because
Yeah.
we'll probably talk about it because we hate. That's
Yeah.
all. All right.
All
Woo,
right.
so
Starting for real this time.
woo. All right. So exciting. Jesus Christ, that's loud.
All right. So, dude, isn't it so crazy how like we thought it wouldn't be a while, but then we got a whole we have like 2 videos worth of stuff to talk about already.
All we did was watch like One Piece YouTubers for like 3 days. That's all it takes. I hate these people.
All right, so let's start with the topical one. Dude, isn't it so hyped that we're about to see the God Valley flashback? God Valley, love the God Valley flashback.
It's the Kuma flashback.
What do you mean? This is the God Valley flashback.
It's Kuma's
we're gonna see
flashback.
Roger. We're gonna see Roger fight Rocks.
Maybe
We're gonna get like 3 chapters of Roger fighting Rocks, dude. Trust me. Trust me, dude.
Flashback has never had a fight that long.
No, like that's like what I hate people because it's like this is supposed to be Kuma's backstory. Will like I imagine this God Valley incident will be like 3 chapters total.
I could see it being a bit longer, like maybe he wants to flesh some stuff out, but it's Kuma's flashback, so it's mostly going to be about Kuma, and most of Kuma's life isn't about God Valley. It's about like the
Having a
revolutionary.
daughter,
He has to have a daughter. He has to become a king. He has to become a tyrant.
cyborg.
He has to meet Vegapunk and turn into a fucking machine.
Like even if we assume that like this is gonna be as long as the Odin flashback, like Odin like didn't spend like 3 chapters fighting Kaido. We spent like half a chapter fighting Kaido.
Oh no, that's the thing. Anyone who wants a long-term fight in this flashback needs to remember what One Piece flashbacks are like.
Yeah, like I imagine like at some point maybe we'll have another like God Valley flashback where like it will actually talk about like Roger and Rocks and stuff like that. But like I'd be surprised honestly if we even like see Rocks I can imagine like just seeing his silhouette as Kuma runs for his fucking life.
Oh no, that's so possible. Or like we get like as Kuma's is running away, Roger like runs past him into the violence. It could literally just be that. Like yeah, sure, you could theorize ways it could be important. Like maybe Garp dragged Dragon along and he meets Dragon.
Yeah, like
or like the fact that Ginny is probably his wife. Like there's important things here, but the most important events in Kuma's life we know happen when he's an adult.
You know, like I understand why people are excited because like ooh,
Yeah,
like they've been hyping up this event for a while and this is gonna be our first glimpse of it. But like at the same time, like people are like you showed me this comment where people are like, I'm afraid that like I'm worried that like it'll just be about Kuma.
That was underneath, I think, Morge's video.
Yeah, I know. Like why are you worried about that? Like like why should we have the God Valley flashback like and have Rox's like full like character introduction, his whole character arc, and his death for Egghead? And not just like focus on Kuma.
Right, where it's kind of like you're setting yourself up for disappointment by calling it the God Valley flashback. You should go in expecting to learn Kuma's story. And if we get cool God Valley stuff on the side, that's awesome. But that is not the core of this flashback. And people like Morge saying, "Oh, well, it should be because it'd be kind of anticlimactic to do it some other time," are lying. It's Kuma's flashback. It should be about him.
No, you're right, but like you know what I think is going to happen at God Valley?
What?
Where's that bingo card you made?
Oh, the goofy ass bingo card.
We got the goofy bingo card.
It should be in chapter chat. Yeah, you can put that up over here. This is basically when you people sound like you're hyped for God Valley. I think you sound like this. I think you sound like this. This is what you sound like.
All right, will we see Black Arm Zephyr at God Valley? Will we see Magic Kaido at God Valley? Will we get God Valley lore? The
Do you like
baby
how I used
chest
Emerald
theory.
City? Do you like how I used
No, that's
Emerald
awesome. That's
City?
awesome. Bullet, will Bullet appear? The greatest Roger pirate and like the fourth strongest question
Mhm.
mark.
We don't have to go through the whole card. It's kind of
Yeah,
long.
yeah, I know. Let's just
It's
talk.
kind of just like
Some
you
of them are
said
more,
silly.
yeah, some of them are more fun than others. Like Rayleigh and Shaggy flirt fighting.
Oh,
That sounds like
that's one
awesome.
I actually want.
No, I would love just like one panel where like, hey baby, you got some nice moves.
Mhm. Oh, also, Puff, I think I should say this now. If during the flashback we see Roger's crew and Scopper isn't a skinny little bitch, that is inconsistent writing.
It
Because we've seen what
is.
Scopper looked like way back when Shanks was like young, let alone when they fought Whitebeard. Scopper should be skinny as fuck, because this was way before they even got Shanks.
Right, yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
that's that. So yeah, just don't set your expectations too high. Don't make this another like kid was too weak or another raid fail. Don't do that.
I know, like, oh, why would they hype us up for Roger versus Rox when it was just Kuma talking with Eva and like having a childhood and like making friends and like creating the Revolutionary Army. Yuck.
Yeah, like don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. All right. Next is missing parents and Luffy's mom in particular because I do not give two fucks about who Luffy's mom is until the story gives me a
Okay, yeah,
reason.
no, this is also because of Ginny, because a bunch of people. Puff, what I think is funny is I saw Ginny in the chapter, and I thought, who's that? And then I was like, oh wait, Bonnie needs a mom. It's probably Bonnie's mom. And then I checked Twitter and everyone said Luffy's mom. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, because she's eating. Because the thing is, I give so little fucks about Luffy's mom that I didn't even consider her an option because I shouldn't give a fuck about Luffy's mom. The story doesn't give a fuck about Luffy's mom.
Like I get it, like oh that like the Luffy's mom thing could be a twist they pull out at any time. It could
Well,
come
they
at any
could.
time, but until they do, why should you care?
Yeah,
Like
like Luffy's
why?
mom doesn't fucking matter.
Like
Like it's like oh maybe she's a celestial dragon. It's like yeah, if that's the case, then we'll fucking learn about it. But maybe she's just a lady that Dragon was like close to, like
I
just a
know.
lady.
No, like maybe it's just not an important. Like maybe when Dragon has his flashback, I'm sure like she'll appear in some capacity or whatever. It'd be weird
Probably
if
yeah.
she didn't. But like at the same time, if she just doesn't, I won't complain. You won't hear a word from me.
Because like you like it's weird because it's like you're One Piece fans. One of the core themes is that blood relations don't matter and you can make your own family. And yet you're all disgustingly obsessed with all the characters' fucking blood relations.
Like
What?
Luffy inherited Garp's back muscles.
No, he didn't.
What?
No, he
uh,
didn't. Like
uh,
literally, we only need to learn about Luffy's mom if she's important to Dragon's character in some way, pretty much.
yeah, and also
Or if
I
she is
hate.
an important figure in the world, which
Hold on,
currently I have no reason to believe.
we need to pull up this SBS quote where Oda said he was gonna draw Luffy's mom because
Okay,
people.
I can't remember if it was an. I think it may have been an interview
Oh,
actually, because I
okay.
think I only basically someone asks, "Hey, what's Luffy's mom like?" And Oda describes the dam. He
Yes.
describes the dam.
Yup.
Because that's the joke. Is it's like, oh, we're gonna meet Luffy's mom, and then we do, and it's his adoptive mom because the Dan is Luffy's mom.
Dude, I hate the people who took like Sanji's like idea of Big Mom when he first heard of her and like, dude, we could use that thumbnail for Luffy's mom. That's our
Oh, I
thumbnail for
fucking
Luffy's
love it.
mom. And then it
I
was for
fucking
like
love that.
and then it was like it was for the next like 10 years until like the Celestial Dragon theory took off.
Hmm. Like there's other goofy because the thing is like there's certain Straw Hats where I get asking about their parents. Frankie's parents were mentioned in some capacity. They threw him overboard. So thinking, oh, maybe we'll meet his. Sure. But then there's others, like Nami's biological mother. Who fucking care?
But dude, we have to explain Nami's like relationship with the weather by making her like the princess of
Oh, I
like the
fucking love
ancient
that
kingdom.
stupid theory. That's so fucking dumb. Okay, and then the next Straw Hat with the biggest dumb one is Zoro and his important
All right,
Wano
but before we
lineage.
get to that, I just want to say, Dodon is Luffy's mom. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah, the
please,
Daniel
please,
Luffy's mom.
please,
She's
please.
his mom. All
Anytime Oda's ever talked about
It's
Luffy's mom, talk about
Nami.
Dodon. What are you talking about? What are you
Nami.
talking about?
Nami.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
That was funny. That was funny. Okay, no, so now it's Zoro, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Zoro's family and how it wasn't important to Wano. One thing you'll notice is that Zoro's relation to his family was basically just like, oh shit, I'm from a swordsmith village that's related to Wano. Oh shit. And because of that, I know about swords. That's so cool. And everyone's like, oh, but look at this color spread, man. Why didn't we learn about Zoro's family? Oh
Dude,
man. And
look
it's
at
like,
there was a rich story to be told here.
I think that
And
was Mori's quote again. I think
Oda
Oda
chose
gets the
not to tell
Mori.
it when he put the Ryuma thing in the background of that color spread instead of making a 3 chapters
Yeah.
flashback
It's like
story all about it.
literally Oda only even named Zoro's parents in an SBS, presumably because a fuck ton of people were asking.
Yeah.
And then he just made a pun out of it, where his mom is just the opposite of Sanji's mom. like Oda, like the fact that he didn't reveal Zoro's parents until an SBS shows that like he doesn't give a shit. The story doesn't give a shit. It's
Well,
kind of
like
just
I'd
because
say the story gives a shit a bit just because it does draw the pale. But the thing is, it was trying to be subtle about it, and then you
yeah.
just had Oda say the quiet part out loud in the SBS,
Yeah,
and
where
then
it's like, yeah, Zoro is the descendant of Wano, but it's kind of meaningful that during the King fight, that isn't what decides it. Because King's like, ooga booga birth, I'm a Lunarian, I'm so cool. And Zoro's not like that, where it's like, it'd be kind of dorky if he was like, I'm a Lunarian, and Zoro's like, well, you may be a Lunarian, but I'm a descendant of Ryuma, so fuck you.
I'm
Where it's like, no,
Nippon strong.
where it's like it's kind of meaningful that in Zoro's like the place that his whole family is from, the place that he has such strong birth ties to, has nothing to do with why he wins. Whereas the guy he's fighting, who is obsessed with like his identity and like who he is, like racially and blood wise, like loses. It's like that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's kind of like interesting. It has nothing to do with like Zoro's not bringing up like Wano lore. He's just talking about what he learned in his hometown, which isn't quite the same thing.
Yeah, and even then, he doesn't learn about his family. He learns about what like Kuina's grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, doesn't matter. All right. That's
Why?
that's that. Oh, we can talk about the teach they them thing really quick.
Oh yeah, right. This is because someone actually asked us to talk about
Someone
this.
asked, "Yay,
Now, like, I'm just gonna say, there's a reason why my series is called Poorly Aged Theories and not Dumb Theories. Because, like,
right.
I want, like technically speaking, the they them thing could come true. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's not necessarily any evidence for it besides that one line, but there's nothing
Right.
like hard confirming it
No,
either. So I don't want
no,
to
where
like go
it's
too
like
hard
I
on it.
can't say it's wrong, but here are my two biggest issues with it. Issue one, depending on some translations, instead of like it's they, it's there's more than one. And like basically the way I interpreted it the first time I read it, I assume this is how you interpret it too, is they're talking about Blackbeard's crew, who they met all throughout Jaya. And then Blackbeard meets up with his crew like towards the end of Jaya. Like
Yeah.
that's the obvious interpretation.
Like, oh,
And
these
then
people are like the people walking by as he's raving out. And he's like, oh, that's just some drunkard, or oh, look at that crazy guy. But it turns out, oh, he's a
yeah,
pirate captain like Luffy. Like,
yeah.
there are like important
Whereas
people, strong
Whereas,
people who
like
respect
the
him.
other theory, okay, so yeah,
Technical
all of his crew is
difficulties.
on Jaya. That's the obvious they slash more than one reading.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the multiple souls reading. The justification for that is this arc did introduce kind of sensing people out with hockey because most translations don't get this, but Blackbeard did say Luffy's bounty was too low based on his hockey. So maybe Zoro and Luffy could vaguely kind of sense Blackbeard had a lot going on. But the problem is from that, a lot of people then say Blackbeard obviously has multiple personalities because his character is
No,
inconsistent.
I hate that one because like people just act differently in different situations. Like when Blackbeard thinks he has the upper hand, he's cocky as hell, and then when he doesn't, he's like, oh no, damn it, I didn't plan for this.
Yeah, like it's kind of similar to how Usopp acts.
Yeah, that's
Where it's like
cool.
genuinely if they didn't have the theory that he's multiple people, not a single person would say his character is inconsistent.
No, not a
Because
single
it's
one.
not. He's just like when he thinks he's got the upper hand, he acts like he's hot shit. And then the second he's on the back foot, he's like, wait.
It's like, guys, watch me 1v1 Whitebeard. And then he's like, no, no, guys, help, shoot
I
him.
cannot 1v1 Whitebeard. It's like, yeah, he's just like a coggy guy who gets in over his head really easily. It's not that complicated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
that's kind of
anyway,
just
again, like
stupid.
technically it could happen. So I don't want to go against the theory too hard. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
no,
make
no.
a
It's we're
dumb.
not saying the theory is impossible. We're just saying some of the justification is kind of iffy, and if you use Occam's razor, there's a lot more obvious of an answer.
Dude, I'm gonna say Occam's razor when we talk about another thing on this list.
Oh, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait.
All right, Joyboy is already top two most important characters.
You can talk about this one because you care about that argument a lot more than
It
I
just
do.
again, this is a guy I know, and he thinks like characters like Roger and like Joyboy are like the second and third most important character in the whole story. Which like if you want to talk about like lore wise, like in universe, sure. But if you're gonna talk about like the story as you're meant to experience it, it's like Luffy and then like Zoro and then the other Straw Hats, basically.
Yeah,
Like I remember, like
obviously. And then
I
like
keep talking to
Law.
this, like I keep talking to this guy. Like, do you know why Zoro gets a fight like every single arc? Because One Piece is a battle shonen and not the 3-part anthology of Luffy and Roger and Joy Boy's life.
It's kind of just goofy. Where that is a One Piece fan thing to like care a lot more about like the lore than like the actual characters and
Yeah,
story.
like I try to make comparisons with him. Like I said, okay, if you were reading Naruto, would you say the Sage of Six Paths was more important than Sasuke? And they say, oh, I never
Which is
watched. And then he'd say, I never watched Naruto. And I'm like, okay, if you were reading Bleach and you said the Soul King was more important than say Uryu or like or Hime, and then he's like, I never
Mhm.
watched Bleach. So I'm like, ah, okay. If you're watching Game of Thrones, would you say the Lord of Light is more important than Jon Snow? And he's like, who the fuck's the Lord of Light? And I'm like, exactly, the God of Creation guy, and like this
In
in
all fairness, Game of Thrones
Game
is
of
like
Thrones.
500 fucking deities. It's easy to forget the name of one.
Yeah.
You forget the drowned god. I love the drowned god.
Thanks. I haven't
He's
even
my
seen Game
favorite.
of Thrones. I literally just like I know he's seen Game of Thrones. I bet if I look this up, I can find
Right,
something.
right, right. No, yeah, you could. No, drowned god is just my favorite Game of Thrones god conceptually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
what
All
so
right.
what's after that?
Next, I think a lot of people are stupid when they say Fujitora and Kobe are replacing Smoker.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of people that act like because Smoker got like kind of beat up at Punk Hazard, he's like irrelevant to the story now.
I know it's so weird. It just do you know he's like the longest running like antagonist or like rival character for Luffy, right?
Well,
Like,
second, Buggy's the longest.
right? Yeah.
Go Buggy.
Like there's
No, but
been
it's like
periods where like like he hasn't done shit for a long time. Like there was a big gap between Alabasta and
and Marineford.
Marineford, and in
Like
Marineford he didn't even.
we saw him at an island once between then and there, but that was I think that was just during like Giant or
And even
something.
then, we get that in the time skip. Like we got in between Dressrosa and like now, like we saw, read the newspaper about like Fujitora doing the thing.
Right, where it's like Smoker where it's kind of just like, guys, just because Smoker was weaker than Vergo a while ago doesn't mean he's irrelevant to the story now. This isn't fucking Naruto, okay? Characters come back.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe like saving this for like my Punk Hazard
Not
video.
Naruto. Naruto's better with that. It's not like Dragon Ball.
No, it's not like Dragon Ball. And, like I was just thinking, like in this Punk Hazard video that I might make, like there's a good reason why Smoker couldn't just beat Virgo by himself.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
not. It's
meaningful.
not. Ooh, Oda's like writing him out of the story by making his power level irrelevant. It's like no, he. It's part of the character arc that he has to team up with a pirate and a warlord. You know, some with a title he doesn't like to beat up a marine, a title he's supposed to like because a pretty okayish warlord pirate is better than a corrupt marine.
What's
Okay.
funny is Law was a corrupt pirate because he was a corrupt warlord.
He was.
And he was still better than Vergo.
No, like that's the beauty of it. It's like I hate the warlords, but also these warlords are not worse than Virgo. He's got to go down first, and
No,
like that conflict of interest wouldn't be there if he could just beat up Virgo by himself.
yeah, no, it's also like they're all clearly going to pursue different things. Fujitora is someone who already has pretty much as much power as a Marine can reasonably get, and we're seeing his best attempts at trying to like do peace. And then we got Kobe, who's a sword boy doing sword boy things while also trying to like live up to Garp's legacy. And Smoker, based on what we've seen so far, is probably going to take an even more radical approach than Kobe is.
Yeah, like probably like leave the Marines because they have that line. Like there's
Like
certain
dead
things you
ass, just
can't.
go
Yeah,
rogue.
there's certain things you can't like do as a Marine or see as a Marine,
There's
whatever.
certain perspectives that you won't see unless you leave the Marines. That was what Kuzan said to him.
Yeah, and it's so
And that
weird.
was
Like
literally like his big thing before we left. Do you think that's never getting paid off?
I know it's like I remember like I think Best Guy ever says this sometimes, and I'm sorry if I bring him up too much, but just
You, it's funny, Puff. He's a funny guy.
like he's like I don't like it, but I think he is trying to replace Smoker with Kobe and Fujitora. Luffy can only have one Marine rival, and it's
Yeah,
probably
no,
gonna
that's
be
weird.
Kobe or Fujitora now.
But Puff, I think it's literally like it's literally like, oh, dude, I'm looking at this cool strong Marine in front of me. So all the cool strong Marines that used to matter, what are those? I forgot about those.
Like, can you imagine if like we were like 10, 15 years ago, and people were like, "Oh, dude, Aokiji? Is he replacing Smoker?
That'd
Is
be so
Aokiji
funny.
replacing
That'd be
Smoker?"
that'd be more than 10 years ago. That'd be like 15 years ago. That
Yeah,
was a long time ago.
it was.
Just like, come on, Smoker is obviously going to keep being a big character.
I know.
Just because he disappeared
Also,
for a
yeah.
bit doesn't mean anything. He disappears for a bit. That's kind of his thing.
Dude, isn't it kind of crazy that like for the first time we saw Tashigi without Smoker?
No, that is wild.
I
Don't people think
know.
it's kind? No, because Puff, I remember
That was
during the whole Garp
weird.
thing, I saw Tashigi and I was hyped to no end. Puff, I was like, oh my god,
Oh yeah,
Smoker's coming, Smoker's coming,
yeah,
Smoker's coming. And then he
yeah.
didn't. Then I was like, wait, I know. He'll be at the fucking Buster call. Smoker's coming, Smoker's coming. And then he wasn't. So it's like Smoker is clearly
Where
up to
is
something.
he, dude? It's like actually like this is actually the most intriguing mystery in One Piece right now.
It's
Where's
not. It is
Smoker?
a big one where it's like, so he's not at the Buster Call to beat up Luffy, and he's not with Sword with Tashigi and Garp going rogue beating up pirates. What the fuck is Smoker doing?
I know. It's like wow. Like
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 that's
and he,
genuinely interesting.
I
Where the fuck is
know.
he?
What's he doing? I want to know. And also, like again, like if you really think, oh, character needs big power level to stay relevant to the story, which is like kind of true-ish in a battle shonen, but like it doesn't necessarily have to. But like let's say you hard believe that, and that's definitely true. He could just like Oda can just arbitrarily make Smoker stronger the next time we see him,
He
like he does with
arbitrarily
plenty of
made Kobe
characters.
stronger.
He arbitrarily made Crocodile stronger. He arbitrarily made every single character who's ever gotten stronger.
Yeah,
That's like
so
that's
who
kind
fucking
of how
cares?
this happens.
So yeah, stop dissing my man. He's so cool. I like him so much. Every time Marine stuff happens, I get so excited.
Yeah. All right, and next is spoilers are garbage. This is a quick one because it's an obvious one.
Okay, why are you reading spoilers? What is wrong with
Do you
you?
really need to have like next level like brain rot to
No,
want
like
to read
genuinely, it's like
spoilers?
reading a shitty like puff. It's like take a Wikipedia summary of a movie you're about to watch,
And then
then
like half the
sit through
sentences
Google
are wrong.
Translate 500
Half the
times.
sentences are just
Yeah,
lies.
yeah, no, like put it through Google Translate 50 times and then read it and then wait a week and then watch the movie. What are not a week, 3 days. What are you doing? Wait 3 days.
I
It's not even like,
know.
ooh, I'm impatient because you're not getting anything out of it.
No,
You're getting
you're not getting
probably
One
wrong
Piece out of it.
information.
You're not even getting One Piece out of it. You're getting like the vague like dopamine shot of reading One Piece, I guess. Like that's what you're looking for.
But like it's not because half the shit is wrong, half the shit is so out of context you misinterpret it. And the shit that's right, you're getting the single lamest payoff to it that's like physically possible.
I
Like
know.
obviously payoff isn't everything. Like you can reread a series and usually I get something more out of a series on reread, but like you're getting first experience, like you're getting the opportunity to experience something for the first time. You may as well enjoy it.
Yeah, I've only seen like two like excuses for reading spoilers that I don't like absolutely loathe and hate.
Mhm.
One of them was like just a stupid 4chan thing where it's like, all right, if we want to like talk with the actual fans, we do it in the spoiler threads because like the trolls don't go in there because they don't care.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like in
that's
one,
like very specific and
yeah, no,
like
that is
community
stupid. That
based.
is stupidly specific. So like it can't apply like literally anywhere else. And even then, I think it's stupid and you shouldn't do it.
Right,
And
right.
then B is just I'm a YouTuber and I have a weekly grind and I want to like be like have my video up as ASAP. soon as possible. So I want to start preparing stuff as soon as
Right,
possible. Which like,
right.
all right, fine. I guess you
Except
need.
that usually leads to shitty videos because you're making it on spoilers, which are
Yeah.
usually wrong to some capacity.
Dude, you remember when I told you like if I ever want to like sell out and like make Evil Pup like a weekly review channel, we just like watch the horror review and just have a
Oh my!
commentary on
But here's the thing:
that.
Ohara doesn't even read spoilers. He's just wrong a lot, which we're like 80% sure most of his wrongness is like interaction bait.
Yeah.
Most of
Uh,
it.
oh, so
Most
should
of
we
it.
talk about people interpreting powers weirdly next?
Oh, you mean the Saturn thing?
Yeah, the Saturn and the Green Bull thing.
Okay, so like this happens a lot, but Saturn was a big one. A bunch of I'm sorry, borderline illiterate people read, hey Marines, if you're below Rear Admiral, you're not allowed to look at Saturn. It was variations of that, no matter what translation you read.
Yeah.
And then a Marine looked at Saturn. Saturn looked at him. His eye glowed, and then the Marine's head popped. And then several YouTubers, like big YouTubers, said, "Oh my God, Saturn is so
Conqueror's
strong
hockey.
that anyone who's weaker than a vice admiral, not vice, rear admiral dies just by his presence." It's like, no, you fucking idiot. Saturn killed him for disobeying orders.
No, like the thing is, like they make it lamer by making it a power level thing. Where like, oh, if you're too weak, you will literally die in his presence. Like, no, I think it's cooler that's like if you don't have a rank, you have no right to look at the Great Gorsei, and you will be executed by the Great Gorsei if you look upon him without a high enough rank. Like, I think that's way cooler and
Like,
says a lot more about the
it gives his
character.
cruelty more agency.
Yeah.
Like he's not, ooh, I'm Zeref from Fairy Tale, but more
It'll,
evil.
yeah, it also feeds into the whole like secretive like thing the world government does, where like they want to keep information hidden. So it's like, oh, if you're too low in rank, I don't want you even knowing what my Devil Fruit is, or like looking upon me, or like maybe spreading information about what powers I could possibly have, or that
Yeah,
I even have powers to begin with.
no, Puff, I remember when we heard that take for the first time, we were like actually floored because no one in our server had considered that. And we have a couple conspiracy brained people in the server, and even they didn't go that far.
No, and then the next one is like one I think is really, really, really dumb. Because I had a stupid like this is the same guy like oh
Yeah,
my
yeah, I
God.
know.
I really hope he doesn't
You
watch
can
these
talk about
videos.
you
I
can
really
talk
hope
about
he doesn't
Greenville
watch these videos.
Shanks.
All right, so some people, and I know he's not the only one who thinks this, but some people think that like Shanks like de-transformed Green Bull with like his Conqueror's lightning, like he hit him with the lightning and then it forced him like out of his low gear form or whatever. And I had to ask this person I was talking to, can you show me on the page where the lightning is touching Green Bull? And he couldn't do it. He's just saying like, dude, that's the way Oda like is drawing. And like, what do you mean? If this was Oda's intention, then he's doing a very poor job communicating this. And I'm like saying like, if he's like getting hit by the lightning, wouldn't it be like touching him or whatever? And it's like, no, dude, think of it like a grappling gun. I'm like, what do you? Why are we comparing lightning to a grappling gun?
No, it's like there's a bunch of takes on that where it's basically like Shanks didn't beat Green Bull. He scared him off. You could say that proves he's stronger. I don't fucking care.
It does.
But he didn't fight him. They didn't fight.
No.
They were not even close to fighting. They were literally miles apart. And no, Shanks' Conqueror's Hockey was not about to snap his neck or some shit. Shanks is just doing an intimidation play, and it worked.
No, like the thing is, like Green Bull didn't even know how far away Shanks was. Like he raised his hands, like, "Oh my God, is he right behind me with his whole with his crew? Is that the red-haired pirates behind me?" And like again, like some people, like this guy talks thought like Shanks was like stunning him and like locking him in place, forcing him from stopping him from moving altogether, like paralyzing him. And like, why do you think that? He raised his arms. Like, do you think Shanks like telepathically forced Green Bull to raise his arms? And he's like no, dude, that like of course he did. Like that's the like submission position. I'm like what? I need to stop talking with weird people.
It's like also if Shanks can literally disable an admiral that easily, he would not have had to do Kid the way he did. He could have just stopped Kid from
No,
moving.
dude, Kid was stronger than an admiral. He was stronger
Presumably,
than
because
Green
Shanks
Bull.
had to actually attack him. Yeah, that's stupid. And like that happens a lot. That's happened a lot in the past. It's gonna happen a lot in the future. Just like I don't even know what to say because like I don't know how you come away with the Saturn.
I think Occam's razor is the thing about like, all right, the simplest solution is probably the right one. If you don't see the lightning touch Green Bull probably de-transform to dodge it. If Green Bull is able to raise his hands and talk, he's probably not paralyzed from the neck down or whatever.
Right.
If Saturn like has to look at the guy and they say anyone with a rank must look away and not leave the premises or whatever, or like
Hmm.
you'll die from his conqueror's hockey or whatever, and they don't make it look like conqueror's hockey or like
And then we see
spiritual pressure.
clearly like the next chapter that they were wrong. We're just kind of
Yeah.
like that type of thing happens a lot. We're just like read correctly. It's not a big deal because of the weekly formula, you're gonna get proven wrong like immediately. But you are like great. Like it's a showing that you are weird when it comes to
Uh,
reading.
Basically, me smart, you dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take that. Get fucked.
Okay. Next is a short one. Helmsman isn't a job, and I hate Gene Bay still.
That's just I don't like Jinbei. No one actually believes that.
Dude, why do people not like the Green Room chapter where Jean Bay rode the wave and Big Mom's wave
No,
and like
no, Puff. It's literally the same as being like, we don't need. It's like a lesser example of like we don't need a ship, right? We have Usopp. It's like, yeah, Frankie like Frankie's way better than Usopp as a shipwright, but it's like, sure, Frankie can helmsman the ship enough to like not crash it, but Jinbei is like a fucking beast.
like I heard like this another best guy ever take. He says like when has the crew ever needed like an expert helmsman in the past? I'm like what all the like like in the beginning wanted to get drowned in a whirlpool. Like if
Yeah.
Jinbei was
Oh no.
doing the shit that
Also,
probably
no.
wouldn't have
Also,
happened.
Puff. That's kind of goofy for most criticism because it's like we didn't need a musician until we got Brooke. He's just nice to have. Or like we didn't need a fucking archaeologist until after we got Robin. Because why the fuck would he
The
need an
things we did
archaeologist?
not even need an archaeologist technically until Zoe. So Robin's
That's
like
true.
super
Oh
early.
no, she was no, she was helpful with like getting to Skypiea.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Although they probably could have just asked around and found Cricket naturally. But she made it easier.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, a lot of where that's kind of the thing where it's like, oh my god, I didn't realize how much cooler we could be now that we have one of those.
Yeah. Also, like a lot of people are like, dude, I want like One Piece to have cool naval battles, and like having like Sunny given an expert helmsman who can do cool maneuvers like that is probably like
Raises the odds of
yeah
that
raises
happening.
the odds of that, and I think that'd be neat. Like you could include Sunny in a big battle and have Jinbei steer him. It'd be nice, or her,
Yeah,
I
it'd be
guess.
cool.
Yeah. All right. Next is Sanji should kick a woman and finally have character development.
I think we've already touched
Why
on
doesn't
this.
he have character development?
I think we've already touched on this a little bit, but I guess we can just go in more detail. A big thing about One Piece is the freedom to like stick by your own values. Sanji is free to make his strong decisions, not to use his hands, not to kick a woman, feed anyone who's hungry. Those are his self-imposed limitations, but
Dude,
he's
did you
free to
watch my
make them.
Don Krieg video?
Huff, you and I have talked about that for years
I
before the
know,
Don Krieg
I
video. You need to
know.
shut up.
Dude, you probably watched a cool Don Krieg video. Who made it?
Dang, I wonder who talked to you for 3 years before you made it. No, but it's been more than 3 years, dear God. But no, it's just like, and that's a big thing with what like Luffy's thing is like Luffy is free to not gain any skills outside of fighting because his crew will support him, and Sanji is free to never want to kick a woman because his crew will support him. Yada yada. Zoro's free to never have to get a sex direction. Nami never needs to learn how to be a fist fighter. Brook will never have to burn his afro, etc., etc. They all have personal values that they feel very strongly about, and even if it becomes a limitation, it's okay because the crew will support each other.
One like weird argument I've heard about is like isn't like this like way more sexist in universe because like women like because it's superpowers and stuff they can all be like as strong or stronger than men, like you could be a freak like Big Mom or whatever, but like at the same time I'm like dude, like it's fiction, and at the same time maybe it's like a lot of shonen like tries to stay away from having guys fight girls, like it's an obvious
Right.
thing to notice unless it's like a villain, then they might attack a
Yeah, then
girl.
they may like beat the ever living shit out of one.
Yeah, and then it's just like that tends not to happen just because like ooh, young boys be reading, young
Yeah,
boys tend not to, and even then One
yeah.
Piece is like way more leaning towards hey boys, punch women if you think
Punchy,
it's fun,
punchy. Yeah,
because
no.
Luffy does it
Also,
all the time.
oh no, Luffy has no flaw.
Yeah, and then
No,
like Law
it's
and Kid
also
did it
kind of
last
a
arc.
yeah. It's also kind of the thing of like even then like the sexism thing. Sanji doesn't not kick women because like ooh they're frail. He knows Big Mom is stronger than him. He
Yeah,
doesn't do it because he like respects them to the point of not wanting to attack them. And like yeah, that is sexist. But not wanting to injure people is like pretty low on the bad sexist traits totem pole.
like is he thinking like damn if I use hockey to defend myself, Black Mario will break her entire arm and fist, and she'll die.
No,
She'll
no, you would
die.
never think that. Because like even against Big Mom, he technically kicked her fist, but it was a block. Like Sanji's like, Big Mom's so strong, I can block her with a kick, and it doesn't count because it's fucking Big
Yeah, no,
Mom.
like because he can't hurt her, and at the same time he's trying to defend Reiju, so like obviously
Right.
that doesn't really. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like it's fine if you don't like that Sanji acts that way, but acting like him kicking women is like any sort of natural or like realistic character growth is just stupid. We've said this before, we'll say it again. If you want a character that has to learn to attack women at full capacity, be a Zoro fan.
Yeah, dude, be a Zoro fan.
Yeah.
Zoro will be your guy.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right. Dude, did you know that that One Piece is is is
Of
woke?
yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Yeah, obviously it's woke. The
What
fuck?
what, dude? But
Like you
what
could
do you
like One
mean?
Piece like obviously was more problematic early on, but it's pretty noteworthy how that's changed. Like you could be like, oh, look at the trans slash no, Bon Clay is like gender fluid, but like look at the LGBT rep of Bon Clay, and then compare it to like Kiku and Yamato.
Dude, Bankley
Clearly,
is
Oda
so
has
much cooler than Kiku and Yamato.
no, no,
He's so much cooler.
he's more of a bro, but from like the representation lens, he's more offensive. And the thing is, like, Oda's always been like kind of lightly progressive because, like, here's a fun fact: Oda, when he was an assistant under Kenshin, the Kenshin author, he led to the creation of one character, and it was the trans character.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
You
And
know,
like
where
I know
it's
like a
like,
lot of people like say like, oh dude, Bon Clay and Eva, they were just gag characters, so like you don't have to take them
okay, say
seriously.
what you want about Bond. Eva is objectively untrue because Eva is based slightly on Rocky Horror Picture, but also on a drag queen Oda was personally friends with, and that's why before the drag queen had some other stuff going on with them, but before that happened, they were the voice of Eva because they were Oda's friends. And hell, Oda even made up neo pronouns for Eva that never gets translated, but in the Japanese, Eva has their own made up pronouns.
And also like even ignoring all that, like in the story we have the Kamabaka Queendom is like allies with the Revolutionary Army who thinks the government's kind of cringe and bad. So like they're part of like the most morally correct group, and they
Yeah,
have a whole like country of trans people on their
yeah.
side.
Also, like, sure, Sanji is like a bad person and calls them all ugly, but he also, excluding the anime's bad. He never kicked them because even Sanji acknowledged that he'll treat them as women.
Yeah,
So
like
good Sanji, good Sanji.
he only ever attacked Eva because like Eva was in
No, and
their
even then, no,
masculine form.
that was only in the anime. He didn't do
Right?
that in the
Yeah.
manga. Fucking anime.
Yeah. Fucking anime. Yeah. And
or
also like
and,
like
like
we
that's
can
like the
repeat our
obvious
whole we
one.
can repeat a whole Yamato section too.
No, yeah, no, like Yamato, or like even if we ignore like trans and gay shit, uh, One Piece's racial takes are also very progressively leaning, obviously.
Yeah. Slavery bad.
Its medical takes are progressive by American
Immigration good.
standards. Yeah, no, okay. Its medical Medicare takes are progressive by American standards, which is to say, it has the take that most of the rest of the world has. It's like, yeah, come on. Like One Piece is like a pretty progressive series, so like, come on.
Yeah.
This is just kind of an extension of our One Piece's political thing.
It is.
It's like One Piece is political, and it's political on the progressive side.
It is. If I know, like, some people are like shocked, like, how could there be conservative One Piece fans? And either like, a, they don't think about this stuff. Like, not a lot of people like
Or they hate
have
it
to.
and they move on with it anyway. Like
Yeah. Or
we knew people in OPA who really liked One Piece, but fucking hated like when Kiku was in the women's bath. They got mad.
yeah. And then like, what was I about to say?
The
Shit.
joke you made was it supports their government conspiracy
Right, yeah,
theories.
like there's actually like a group of people like I've seen like a couple who like love One Piece because like dude, the government is keeping secrets from us, and One Piece knows this, and I
Mhm,
love it for that.
mhm.
And like
No, it's
I'm sure the government is not like literal lizard men, but like to an extent,
no,
I'm
no,
on their side there.
obviously they have
Yeah,
to be like
yeah,
that's normal. So it's like yeah, Ooga Booga, if you're like Ooga Booga, reject Western cartoons, embrace Japan. They're not woke. The most popular series out of Japan is pretty progressive, so like shut up.
yeah. And they were having like trans and lesbian characters for the longest time. Like it was a big deal when like Steven Universe had the first like gay marriage
Yeah,
was it like just Western television or television all over? I forget.
I know it was. I think it may have been. Was it Western television or was it Western cartoons? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It set a big precedent.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the next thing. Dude, can you believe that One Piece is over?
It's over? What does that mean?
It's not number one.
Oh, sales.
Dude, Kimetsu no Yaiba, dude. Like, all the kids on the school bus. Oh, Oda's little
We're
girl.
singing
We're
the
singing the
MHA
MHA
opening.
theme song, and she was like, "Daddy, is your manga dying? Are we
Yeah,
gonna go
no,
poor?"
that's such a cute fucking story.
It
But
is.
the problem is, everyone who talks about sales has the same perspective that Oda's very young child. Like the story's cute because it's like an ignorant, worried child. It's embarrassing when it's grown men on Twitter.
It is.
Because it's like,
Or like 4chan third upon four. Like back when I
yeah,
was like actually on the site, there was a lot of threads like
yeah,
that, sales
yeah,
threads.
or like I'm going to assume Pirate Folk has a lot of that. It's Pirate Folk,
Yeah.
or it's like, who cares about sales? Are you weird?
The
It's
thing
like,
is,
first
I
of all,
think a sales thing could be very interesting and cool, but no one wants to talk about it in a way that is interesting
no, it's just
or
my thing is
realistic.
better than yours because it sold more numbers. And then everyone's like, dude, One Piece fell off sales wise. Let's go. But the weird thing is, like, those people never take the logical extreme because if you genuinely believe sales equals quality, always, 100% of the time, why have I probably read more of the best selling manga than you?
Because I look at the Oricon like yearly ranking and like play like power levels and power scale the numbers against each other in the ranking. Well, you've actually went to the wiki to the top 200 and started reading
Yeah,
them
but
one
it's
by
like,
one.
have you read all of Cased Closed and seen all of Cased Closed's movies? Because I have.
Go 13.
Yeah, no, yeah, Google 13, which I haven't even caught up with yet. Or like here's another big one. All the people who like shit on One Piece because they think it sucks because its sales are going down, or all the people who love One Piece and say it's the best because its sales, would any of them agree that Dragon Ball is the fourth best manga?
Some of them probably like a lot
But
of people love Dragon
most of
Ball.
them would not.
No, no. The thing is, like, it's just like, all right, you brought this up, like, all right, Marineford objectively the best arc if we go by sales, and then it's Fishman Island, the arc that no one likes, and so it's like, is Fishman Island
Sad, except
objectively
for
the
us,
second?
we like it because we're correct.
Yeah, so like, some people will be, well, actually, it's just like piggybacking off Marineford sales, so it's like, oh, so it is arbitrary sometimes, and
Sales
it
are
just,
don't mean anything. And also, like, a fun fact about sales that I don't think I've heard anyone but like maybe Kraftsdorf bring up is this is a wild statistic. During Marineford, half of Japan was reading One Piece. That's fucking insane.
I know, and also like, like it's natural for series to have a peak and then drop, and considering that One Piece is 20 plus years long. Yeah, it happened. It
Yeah,
happens to like every series that goes on for too long. Like
yeah, no,
Dragon Ball, I
it's
know
just
ended at its peak, but One Piece is like
right.
twice as long as Dragon Ball, like three
Yeah, and
times longer
yeah,
almost now.
no, it's kind of like who cares? It's like, oh no, One Piece. It's literally just like you only believe that because you don't like the current arc. You're like, I don't like the current arc. Oh, the sales aren't as high as they used to be. Therefore, the current arc is bad. But it's like, if you dug deep enough into all the media you found, you could find something that disagrees with that. There's probably something you like that sold worse than something you don't like. That
No, like yeah,
probably exists.
exactly. Like I'm just like, all right. So you can apply this logic to like every like niche manga that like is not even close to the top 10. Do you think like you look at the Oricon yearly ranking that these are the 10 objective best manga that came out this year or whatever?
It's
Like
like,
my
no,
Like,
no
listen,
one
I know,
believes
I
that.
know Arya doesn't make sales. My video still has like less than 400 views on it. But I think it's like unironically one of the best slice of life ever, and I think like it's actually very thematically cohesive and resonant in a lot of cool ways. The art's fucking beautiful. I love it. The characters are charming and lovely and great, and
Right.
I think it's better than Chainsaw Man. But it's changed some. It makes the Oricon yearly ranking because it's cool and people like it,
Right.
and it's in Shonen Jump. That's another thing. It's the magazine. Each story is printed and matters a lot. Like
Oh, it's
Orca,
matter,
like
right? Yeah.
you look at the top 10 chart. It's always like 6 Jump manga,
And
like
here's
always.
how fucked these guys' perspectives is, because this is a fun thing I like to bring up. My second favorite manga of all time is Soul Eater. A lot of you know what Soul Eater is because it was on Netflix in America, and you all think it's cool. Here's a fun fact, Puff. Soul Eater isn't even in the top like 150 best-selling manga.
Yeah, it's not.
Dead ass
No, dude, it's
Fire
a
Force
niche
is.
underground. It's a niche
No,
underground
where
thing.
it's kind of just like, yeah, like I don't, yeah. Soul Eater has sold less than things you people have never heard of and will never even be able to read because there are not good digital copies of it.
No.
It's like who sales stupid argument. Grow a brain. Stop being a fucking capitalist nerd and letting the market decide what's good. Decide what's good for yourself. You
Yeah.
fucking
Also, like, I'm
dweeb.
surprised I actually got a comment like this, like, way back when.
Hmm.
So and then they said like I brought up like in a video just offhand like, oh, when you make like controversial like or you keep things secret from the reader, discussion goes up and therefore like sales can go up along with it if you keep discussion in the series like healthy and like thriving and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And then someone said, do you have any idea what's happening to One Piece's sales? And then I'm just like, dude, it's been in the top 10 best-selling manga for 20 fucking years and it's like the best-selling manga of all time. Like it's so successful to this day. Like even if it's not like literally number one this year because Kimetsu no Yaiba broke some records, it's just like,
Or
do you
like
think it's not
nowadays, it's
successful
like
anymore?
who's outselling it right now? Like Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu, I assume.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't fucking know. Or it's like I guess another big thing
Like,
is
has
like
anything stayed in like the top 10 for that long? Like,
no,
that's
or like no,
unprecedented,
One
right?
Piece's thing of like One Piece being in the top 20 for as long as it has been is a record that I'm pretty confident is never going to be broken. Like literally ever.
Yeah, I know it's hard to imagine other long running like
And obviously, and guess what?
shonen.
That's not because of popularity. That's also because of how the world has changed. And no manga is ever gonna run as long as One Piece did. We're never getting manga like that again.
I know it's hard to imagine. Like, there's not like a whole lot. Like, maybe like something like Kingdom could maybe go on and on and on and on for a long
No,
time.
no, it has to be other things that are also old as shit, like
Yeah, I know.
Conan
Like
and
yeah, that's
Naruto.
what I'm thinking of. Like, it has to be something else that's already stupidly long and might like still because it's from that era and in that sort of like style might like still like thrive the same way One Piece has
Right.
for so long.
So it's just like, yeah, shut up about sales. You're a nerd. All right,
Yeah, I
what's
know. Like,
next?
there's interesting ways to talk about it, but you choose not to talk about it like that.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
next?
Characters as symbols.
Okay, yeah. So this is basically just like this is kind of like
Dude, have
you're
you seen
just.
my Don Krieg video?
I have. No, this is. Have you seen the comments under your Dog 3 video? This is kind of like the. This is kind of like I'm just getting into media analysis. I'm not very good at it yet, which is just like people think a good character is a character with like a fleshed out backstory, really intricate characterization, yada yada. And like, yeah, I
Dude,
like those characters. Those are good.
When Doflamingo says children who know war and children who've only known peace have different values, and I thought it was so smart, and he said just as
Mhm.
well. It was such a smart thing to say. He's like, dude, he's
Yeah,
spitting, and he a good
but
character because he's spitting,
but
and
it's like
that's
also
true.
it's like
But
also
also,
sometimes some characters are meant to only be here for like a few chapters and represent like something more so symbolically and then also maybe be like fun to have on screen hopefully like I think Don Krieg was fun to have on screen and that's all they do. They come in, they show off an idea and have us study it and then leave. That's what the bigger villains do. They just also have more characterization going on because they're going to be here longer.
yeah. And even then, like some people will ignore all the symbolism and just be like, "Dude, Doflamingo spitting when he say a
Oh,
smart thing."
they do. No, where it is like if you only ignore symbolism, obviously you're gonna like Dofi way more than like who's it like than like fucking
Lucci.
like Lucci. Yeah, you should. But it's like if you care about symbolism, you might like Lucci more. I don't, but you might. Or it is kind of just like stories using characters and objects and things as symbols is like I'm pretty sure as old as stories.
Yeah, I know. Like this is actually a thing I've heard a lot with Kaido, where people are like, "But dude, like Kaido is just an anarchist. That's such a shallow philosophy." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? His
No, first of all, that's not
philosophy?"
even true for starters.
No,
Oh no, that's
I hate Nuxtaku for like
fucking
popularizing like
philosophy.
philosophy. Like, what's
An
this character's philosophy and
ideology.
ideology? It's like a character
Mhm.
doesn't have to have like a whole like thesis essay of their like worldview written out and show to you to be a good character and get the little stamp as a hashtag deep character. Like
Nice.
they can just like reflect the series in interesting ways or symbolic ways, like Kaido does a lot. Like Kaido, like if he lived in the real world, would never be president. I'm sorry to say that. That doesn't mean he's a bad character. It just means like, oh, when he's like contrasted with like say Luffy or like he feeds into the whole like his whole crew structure reflects how pirates are an ambitious bunch and he wants to control their ambitions or like limit their ambitions, whatever. Like that's interesting stuff. Yeah, is he
Yeah,
also just
it
like
is.
is he also just a big strong guy who wants to start a war? Absolutely
Kind of.
he is.
Yeah. Or it's just like you need to let stories do more than one. It almost kind of feels like the whole like realism paintings versus like abstract paintings, where it's like I only like something if I can understand it hyper literally. Don't make me think.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Which is annoying and dumb. All right, what's
Yeah.
next?
Next is fake out deaths.
Okay, so here's the thing. I get like there are fake out deaths in One Piece I don't like. Pell.
I think yeah, Pell. Like
Pell,
I
and then
think
like I'm not a big fan of Pounds either. Like I get
no.
why Pound didn't die, but I don't love it. And then Pell, it's still hard to justify him being alive. But then
No.
there's some that people bitch about where I think they're dumb. There's small ones like Conus's dad. I think people only do that to be angry for the sake of being angry. You don't care about Conus's dad.
No.
But then
No.
there's a certain recent one, Puff, that a lot of people act like is Pell level, and that would be Kinemon.
Oh, sorry. I just thought of a fun thing for the characters as symbols thing.
Okay, what would that be? We can go back to that real
I,
quick.
I was just thinking, like, when I was talking to all these people once, I brought up Maleficent as an example, and then after I explained what Maleficent was, like, yes, she's pure evil, but she's also, like, this for the narrative.
Yeah, she
His mind...
represents like danger,
Yeah,
the
and, like,
outside
how, like,
world,
oh,
and
like,
yada
her,
yada.
like, Aurora's parents tried to hide all danger from her, and because she was never exposed to it, she wasn't ever, like, prepared for it, and never
Yeah,
properly, like, grew
it's
up.
good and cool.
And then, like, that, like, blew his mind, like, whoa! I never thought about it that way. Dude, Disney movies are deep, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
but
not. It
then
doesn't even explore that like idea that
but Puff,
much.
then the cynics would be like, sure, but also she's just evil for the sake of being evil. She doesn't have a complex backstory unless you watch the shitty live action movie. Where it's like yeah, okay, so back to what the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about fake out death story. You were talking about
Right. So
Kinemon.
Kinemon, Puff, I've had this take since literally the day that chapter dropped, and I was proven correct. If you thought he died, you're dumb.
But dude, it's the Wano War. We need at least 8 deaths confirmed to have it
How?
be objectively good.
Wait, how many did we have?
We had
Yasu, Bowler Hat Guy, uh, Izo, Ashura Doji, Kanjuro, Orochi. That's 6 confirmed, and then we have 2 unconfirmed with Big Mom and Kaido.
well,
And
but like
that's
no,
a
no,
lot of canon character
no,
deaths for One
dude,
Piece.
I don't
That is
care.
so
The
fucking
scabbards
many.
don't count. This only
Unless it's
Kinemon would have
Kinemon.
only Kinemon would have counted because I don't care about any of the others besides Kinemon.
No, Puff. Where my thing is just like, why did you think he died? Are you dumb? Where it's like, oh, he took a big heart attack. It's like, is that it? Are you dumb? It's like, oh, he was flashing back to Momo, and it's like, yeah, because this is a scene where he's doing something for Momo because he cares about him.
I know.
Come on. And then the thing of also like a lot of people said that also would have been the perfect way to end his character, and it's like, why? Why would that have
No.
been perfect? I've never heard a reason. Puff, I can't even argue against that because
Dude,
I've never
Le
heard a
Sad
fucking
Death.
reason.
Le Sad Death. That's why.
hmm It's like, why is that the best way for Kingdom
Like,
Hearts?
I think like
Fighting Kaido in a ceiling.
no, like I think like the big difference between someone like Kinemon and someone like say Pell or Pound is that like Pell and Pound have like a whole chapter dedicated to their death and make it emotional and sad. So like whenever I reread it, I just can't feel the.
Kinemon's scene was really emotional. I think I just never thought he was going to die.
I know, but I'm just thinking like the Pell chapter. He's like reminiscing, like, yes, we always were here when you were kids, and like Pell, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna take the bomb and sacrifice myself, but like, don't worry, Vivi, you'll be the ruler I always believed
And
you
then
can be.
like
I am the Falcon, the guardian deity of Alabasta.
statue, like falls apart.
Yeah, I know. So like, oh, there's like, and like the thing is, I can still like get into it because it's just a well-made chapter, but at the same time,
and Pell does so little, I can pretend he's dead.
yeah, and then like so like whenever I'm having I have like this conflict in my head, like, but like this doesn't really matter. They're playing it up too much now, and I just feel like the emotions will never like really be fully there anymore.
Actually, I can still resonate with the Pound one more because even if he didn't die, the fact that he's still doing that much and showing that much love for a child that, as far as he knew, he would never even meet, it can still resonate with me even if he lives.
Yeah,
and
I
gets
know.
to
Like
meet
the
later.
emotions can still hit you. It's just that like, oh, because like they made a big death around it and like built up to the death. And are like as the chapter goes on, they're like building up to the big sacrifice
also, like
moment.
Puff, the 2 people that did die, like the 2 scarabs that did die, make a lot of sense. Ashura Doji specifically was like the one who stayed in Wano, fighting the whole time, and all of his men died. and he finally gets to die doing something actually meaningful for his men. And then
Also, he was a
you,
scumbag for like a long time.
oh,
So like,
yeah, he
oh,
was such a piece of shit.
yeah,
And then Izo's thing was it was teaching a lesson where it's like Kinemon and Kiku wanted to die fighting for the sake of die fighting, and Usopp is like, you can't do that. That's pushy shit. I don't want to let you. And then Izo, the sniper of the Whitebeard pirates, shows up to help Usopp, the sniper of the Straw Hat pirates, and he's like showing like how an actual brave warrior of the sea and samurai dies fighting and protecting his friends. Not meaningless. His death was the opposite of meaningless. He killed a CP0 agent. He saved so many fucking people.
yeah.
It's like, come on. Like genuinely, if you make this far into the video and you're mad about Kinemon being alive because that would have been perfect for his character, tell me why.
Dude, Lasad death.
Like,
If
no,
Wano had
I'm
a
wondering.
Lasad death,
No,
there
I'm
would have been
wondering if there's
stakes.
like an actual reason because I've never heard one.
Stakes. Don't
All
you
right,
want
what's
stakes in your story?
Nice.
Next is parallel chasers. Because,
Oh,
all right,
fucking
to be
hell.
absolutely fair,
There are
there's
parallels in One
there's parallels galore in One Piece.
Luffy and Roger, Luffy and Joyboy, Luffy and Odin. That's a lot just for
Yeah.
Luffy off the
Yeah,
top of my head.
there's like even like something like say Bellamy and Jaya and then Bellamy and Dressrosa. Like there's a lot of parallels between the two arcs there, and then
Yeah,
Luffy and Roger's very obvious one.
yeah, or like sometimes it's like mirrors, like Usopp to Nolan is a big mirror,
Yeah.
just shit like that. But it's like, and then you have the people who take it a step further and force parallels or just make any fucking sense. Like an old classic that no one believes anymore is like Luffy is the new Roger, Law is the new Whitebeard, and Kid is the new Shiki. No one fucking believes that
Yeah,
anymore, but people
no,
used to push that for a long time, and it was
they do.
insane.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
we're like people be hyper literal, where they're like one reason people say that like people hate Smoker is like because they act like, well, someone needs to be Luffy's Garp, and it's like none of them are Luffy's Garp.
No, like they all like have like a couple
Anything
attributes of
Garp
Garp,
is
I
Luffy's Garp.
guess. Like I remember, like some people would be like, "Dude, who's the new Garp? Is it Kobe or Smoker or Fujitora?" I'm like, okay, to be dumb and play devil's advocate and like show you why it's dumb. What if it's Akainu? What if Akainu is Luffy's Garp? And like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, he punches hard. He's the strongest Marine of his generation. He has dog symbolism because Garp has like the dog hat and Akainu's the red dog, and he has a dog attack. So why not? Why can't Akainu be Luffy's Garp? He's also like way older than Luffy. Garp is also way older than Roger. Come on, why can't Akainu be Luffy's Garp?
Yeah,
Why can't and they're like, but I don't vibe with Akainu being the Garp because he's a
Akainu's
bad
mean.
guy.
No, because the thing is just like Luffy doesn't have a Garp.
No,
The Garp's relationship with Roger is nothing even close to Luffy's relationship with any of the other Marines if you actually think about it.
no,
Like the whole like a big thing is like Roger and Garp seemingly really liked fighting each other. The only Marine who I can think of so far who had like a fun time fighting Luffy is like Fujitora and like
yeah, yeah.
Aokiji a little bit.
Yeah, and like Fujitora didn't even seem like he liked fighting him. He just seemed like after like hearing his
He
lines
liked
and like
meeting
learning more
Luffy
about.
through the fight. Like he
Yeah,
liked learning about Luffy.
yeah, he like oh, this kid's like this and he'd do that. What a goofy kid. Not like, I'm loving this fight. I feel alive
It's
again.
just like,
I am
I like
Kenpachi
this.
Zaraki, and you are my Ichigo Kurosaki.
It's just like I like this kid. I'm glad I fought him.
Yeah, and this is just a quick little add-on about the whole like when paralleling Luffy with Roger, like anyone from the current story to the past generations, just the current generation, the one we're following, is going to be infinitely more detailed and complex than the past because we're actually like spending 1,000 chapters on like following the main story, like the current timeline, not like spending 500 in the past and 500 in the present. Like the past can only be so detailed compared to the present. It's going to be a lot more simplified. The present, like it just has a lot more going on. It has a lot more characters involved, etc., etc. Luffy's journey is going to be infinitely more interesting than Roger's. That's why Luffy's the main character. So you don't have to make everything one for one. Like ideas are more important than playing Go Fish and finding matches. Okay. This is another thing with parallels. Is just like sure like characters like makes enough sense. Like even if they're like blatantly like wrong.
Are you
or
gonna talk about
forced.
arcs now?
No, like arcs like a lot of story beats will just parallel one another because
Yeah, but
consistent
sometimes
theming.
people get a little too literal with
No,
it.
like they do, but like
Morge.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, we can talk about this now, I guess. Whole
Okay,
Cake
well,
Island is not Enies Lobby 2.0.
or
Wano is not Thriller Bark 2.0.
uh, Enel's priests aren't the Gorosei.
Oh my god. Just
That's
like
fucking one. That's
all right,
fucking.
all right. This is actually what's gonna be what I was gonna talk about next. Is like, all right, doing characters makes enough sense to me at least. Like, cause like the
Mhm.
story does. It's like if you want to try and do it, just cause you're wrong, I don't want to fault you.
It was like
But
sometimes they're right.
there's two things I want people to stay away from when they do this. It's animals and numbers, and this is just for theory crafting in general. Like, if you think, or in like, oh, epic foreshadowing. Okay, so like
Mhm.
you know that there's only 9 numbers lower than 10, right? And you can find them all over the store if you look for them. Like all fucking over. Like in
No,
Morge's
like,
video, he's like, dude, there's 4 priests, there's 5 Gorsei, but like there's this Yama guy who's kind
oh,
of a
he said
priest.
there's 4 Doflamingo commanders, technically 5 because one's a traitor, even though that's not how that fucking works. I don't
No,
remember that
like
arc.
there's a card theme. There's supposed to be 4 sweets.
Hmm. It's like there used to be. He didn't even bring this up. There used to be 4 sweet commanders, or like he'd also use parallels to prove like obvious things, where it's like, dude, I think Garling is going to lose. Not yeah, I think not Garling. I think Saturn is going to lose this arc because it's just like when
The ball
fucking
guy.
when the ball guy lost, or when Vergo lost. Even though you could also just be like, one of the main villains group members losing early on is also a thing in tons of other arcs.
Or like
Moji
Blue
lost
No.
before the final confrontation at Orangetown. Bluno lost before the standoff at Eni's lobby, etc., etc.
This is just like basics, like battle shonen shit, where like sometimes like a guy from the enemy group will show up to just introduce that villain
Oh,
group
that
to the main
happens in
characters.
Bleach all the fucking time.
No, like it literally does, like all the time. Like you before you meet the big group and have the big fight, you'll just see one of them and be like, "Oh, he was really strong." Wait, there's 5 other guys as strong as him? Whoa, that's insane. Like it's like basic like tropes, and you shouldn't make parallels for basic storytelling tropes.
Right. It's like,
Because then
oh
it's
yeah,
just
then,
not effective and not interesting. Like that's the thing. Like let's say it's totally Oda said
oh,
it is
oh,
intentional that I want to have four like priests and 4 Gorsei
mhm.
or whatever the fuck. Like that's not interesting storytelling.
No.
That by
No,
itself is
also,
not.
also the thing about numbers, Puff, is like you have people who use numbers through the lens of like dates to try and be like, oh, look, certain things rhyme or like line up pretty well. And sometimes they do. Like, I Want to Live was really close to Robin's birthday, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But then also, the thing is like also that like you can use numbers to prove conspiratorial shit. Like here's a famous one, Puff. I don't know if they still exist. There's a Tumblr user that we used to love called Zor Robin Love or
Oh,
whatever.
I still have
And
those images on my
and
phone,
they
dude. They're so
used
great.
number shit to prove Zoro X Robin, and they did just as good a job as any theorist did using numbers to prove their own conspiracy. It was the
Yeah, no,
exact
because
same.
it's just like, dude, if the number 2 shows up, because that's Zoro's number, and the number 7 shows up, which is Robin's number, or the number 9 shows up because that's 2 plus 7,
Or if
that's
the
Zoro
number
Robin
three
confirmed.
shows up because that's also Zoro's number because he has 3 swords.
Yeah.
It's like shit like that. You sound stupid. And then also the thing with animals is like Oda likes drawing animals.
I know, like
So
the
you're
thing is,
gonna
this is
find color spreads
this
of
is like
animals
this is like the buffalo thing again. Like Oda draws like animals in every single color spread. Like I could find
almost every
I could
single
find
one.
leopards in like color spreads from like the 100 chapters. Is that foreshadowing Lucci and how the we should have suspected that like the shipwrights in Water 7 were gonna have animal themed devil fruits, and it's like no, stop it.
Yeah, that's a little goofy. How many more do we have?
No, I want people to stay from numbers and animals just because those are such general
No,
fucking
those are
shit. You can
genuinely like almost
bullshit
way
anything
stupid.
with those, like especially because One Piece is so long. You can just find whatever you want if you look hard enough, and
Yeah.
that doesn't make it interesting if it's just like I found the most common numbers here, or 2 animals here. I don't like it.
Right.
Just find different ways to analyze the story, please.
Right.
All right, and now this is
We don't
more
have to
like
do all of these. We have like 2 videos worth. You can just find a cutoff point somewhere.
we're actually almost at the end.
Oh, we're fast. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so this is actually more of a Hunter x Hunter thing. It's
What?
don't infer a mangaka's life story.
This is kind of any mangaka. Here's the thing. Mangaka are like really secretive about their lives. Oda hasn't released a new picture of himself in so long. 80% of people who use a picture of Oda use a picture of Eiji Aonuma, the Zelda guy. If you ever see people use a picture of Oda and it's a guy holding a peace sign with glasses and a beard, that's not Oda. That's a Zelda guy. They
Yeah, no,
are
like
being
there's 2.5 pictures of Oda on the internet, and one of them is the Zelda guy.
Yeah, no, it's
The half one is.
yeah, no, so it's like people who try to infer a lot about like mangaka's motivations and life story and shit like that is like weird because it's like
Cringe.
they don't reveal enough about their lives for you to be saying all this so confidently.
Now, like the thing is, like you can get a lot of Oda's like personality because like the SBS is there, and
Oh
he
yeah, you
puts a lot
can
of his
yeah, but even
personality
then
in it.
that's like the character he puts on in the SBS.
Yeah, well, it's just like people being like, dude, I know Oda was planning to have the raid to fail, but then like, okay, well, can I get a source? Can I get a source? Where are you getting that?
Or like a video was uploaded recently where it was like a YouTube mini documentary about like Oda's
Yu Yu
life.
Hakusho was bad on purpose because the guy she was cooking
That
up
was
Hunter
hilarious.
Hunter the whole
What
time.
came out recently was like a video about like the dark pains Oda had to go through to become a mangaka. It's like you can probably name some annoying, unfun things he had to go through, but also you're gonna have to make a lot of really fucking stupid speculation. Because mangaka are so secretive. You shouldn't assume anything about them unless they like are I don't know. Maybe there's a mangaka that like is on Twitter all the time and won't shut the fuck up. I don't know about anyone like that. Apparently Morikawa, the Ippo author who's old as shit, loves doing Twitter spaces, but like I wouldn't know what he's saying, so maybe he actually says a lot.
Yeah, like I know Mashima has spaces sometimes too.
Yeah, no, but no, Puff, I followed Morikawa last week and he has done like 4 fucking Twitter spaces.
Yo, good for
He
him.
fucking loves it. Actually, he's on break this week, so maybe that's why. Oh, no, he
Oh,
wasn't.
okay.
The break is this week, but that means he's making a chapter right now. Because his break week would have been like 3 chapters 3 weeks ago. Because I know how manga production works. I'm very smart.
All right, are you ready to end on the dumbest one?
What's the dumbest one?
All right, Kizaru is faster than the speed of light.
Oh, you
dude.
mean dumb as in like this is a stupid conversation to have.
Dude, like the thing is, like Kizaru's like just light speed, right? When he does his
Yeah.
mirror thing, but then when he was fighting Luffy, he was doing the mirror thing, but then we saw an arrow and thing implying he was ramping up his speed, and I'm like, yo, he's faster than light. The light man is faster than light, and I think that's
thing. This is a stupid question because it literally doesn't matter.
no, like that's just my cute little headcanon.
No. Because like Battle Shonen don't you power scalers, I'm sorry. I know you have to like cheese this so you can get calcs and I respect you for it because I love calcs, they're entertaining. But like if we're being serious, no manga or anime that's like especially battle oriented gives half a flying fuck about the rules of like physics or biology or anatomy or anything. They don't care. They don't give a shit.
They don't think through the ramifications of having light speed characters and how that would destroy the setting because they want to have fun and they just want to have the cool part of light speed
like,
things.
you know,
without
if we're being scientifically accurate, a light speed kick would have leveled all of Sabaody.
No, like you could do more than that probably.
No, it would. No, I get. No, I'm just being like small scale. It would have leveled the island because something moving that fast like fucks shit up. Things aren't supposed to move that fast when they're like physical.
And then also like this was a thing like a lot of people like I know my brother's like this. He's a vehement denier that Marco can move even close to the speed of light because I'm like, all right, you look at the panels and Kizu launches the attacks and then we see Marco like leap and then fly in the way as the light is like traveling to Whitebeard. So obviously I'm not saying he's faster than light or whatever. I'm just saying he can move like at a fraction of light speed to just intercept the attack because like he'd have to or else the page makes no sense.
He moves at lightning speed.
Yeah, dude.
Which is what, like a third of the speed of light?
Whatever, something like that. Like I think there's a
It's
difference.
I know it's a fraction, but I don't remember what the
So
fraction
I know like in a sense it doesn't make sense for a human to do that, and if they could do that, why wouldn't they like move light speed all the time or whatever? Or if Marco like moves at light speed all the time, that implies all these other guys could do it. And it's like, yeah, so what? Who cares? They're just fast boys. It's fine.
And we don't understand the rules of the game. We can't play along.
Yeah. Pretty much that.
What rules, you sons of bitches?
Literally, it's just like it's kind of like if you're a calc man, have fun calcing, but don't pretend that's like a criticism of the series.
No, it's just
because I love calc men until they use it as criticism.
Oh,
if you just give me sheer calcs, I'm having the time of my life.
Dude, tell me how Oven's like mountain level because he boiled a sea. Tell me,
please.
please.
It makes
Give
me
it to
so
me,
happy.
baby. One more thing before we close out. Shiki, we're gonna scream like and subscribe 3 times. And I'm gonna like copy and like move it to the beginning of this recording. All right.
That's our plan.
Like and subscribe. Okay,
Subscribe.
3, 2, 1. Like.